So I'm 36 years old now, and I bought the ultimate Unk mobile at my age. Look at this thing. It is a 2015 Slingshot. But wait, there's more. So no, it's not a normal Unk Slingshot. It's a Slingshot that was customized by my friends at the Drop Shop. This is a 2015 Slingshot. It was a SEMA build in 2017. So American Force wheels, I want to say 6-piston front brakes, oversized rotors, JL audio everywhere. Here, and subs. I think it has 3 amps and the radio. Look at the radio. It still has the little plastic thing on it. Bullet Speed did the drift brake, which is crazy hydro drift brake. It has a Bullet Speed roll cage. You can see all the freaking custom CNC stuff right here. This is an aftermarket spoiler. Look at this rear suspension, guys. I believe just the rear suspension alone, I was told, roughly about 25K. I don't know. But look at this stuff, bro. It is freaking high-tech with the cantilever suspension. It is ridiculous. Oversized brakes. Like, this is way too much brake for this vehicle. I want to say it's a 350Z rear end. Limited slip. It might be, like, locked because this thing spins on a freaking dime. The exhaust is a true dual exhaust all the way from the back to the front. 4 tips. Crazy freaking tips. Wheels. We're looking at some American Force. Now, these are super rare because they don't make them anymore. And this is like way back when, right? 24 by 14, I believe. The tire was actually an illegal tire a few years ago because it was too wide. This is a 405 25-24. And these were actually really hard to get because they did kind of ban these tires. And this is before tires got really out of hand. We're talking about 2017, guys. Carbon fiber steering wheel. I thought it was just one of those eBay ones. No. If I were to drill a hole through here, it's full carbon. Carbon fiber shifter. Status seats. Look at these seat belts, guys. This is like race car shit. 1, 2, 3, 4-point harness. It is a manual transmission. This is the only reason I really wanted this one because it's a 5-speed. Once again, massive drift brake. I do believe it's the Ecotech, whatever you want to call it. Wheels in the front are like 245, 30s, 2210 or 2212. But they have the offset that sets them out a little bit more. So it kind of matches the rears. Now, last night I drove it home. That's why there's bugs everywhere. I bought it yesterday with 2,200 miles on it. Now it has 2,700 miles on it. Headlights, none. This is like an LED thing. These are switchbacks. But last night when I was driving home, I couldn't see shit. So shout out to Jeffy B. We got some new headlights. I think it's in limp mode. I really do. Now, my friend Fernando that I bought this from never really drove it. So I don't think he ever noticed that 4th and 5th gear have 0 power. And I think all that is because this used to be a 3-wheel vehicle. After the 4-wheel conversion, I'm sure that there's some sensors and a couple other things that aren't plugged in. So that's probably why most of it doesn't work. ABS light is on, check engine light on, a couple other things. But here's the thing. If I get it all tuned up and everything, I should have full power at 4th and 5th, but we're still going to turbo it. But I've never owned a turbo vehicle, yet alone a drift vehicle. So what if I were to do a different wheel and tire package, start drifting this thing as well? I don't know. But for now, we're gonna add headlights, a cell phone mount, and some taillights. Because I think when you turn them on, these are super blacked out and you can barely see them unless it's at night. So I do need some kind of taillights because we're gonna drive this thing to Miami. Well, we're gonna trailer it to Miami and then drive from Miami to Key West for my wife's birthday. So let's get to it, guys. Now, if I run the rock lights, and I'll show you guys those in a second. What? Hold on. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. Dang. So those are like perfectly placed that they look like a taillight, these rock lights right here. I thought they were right here facing back. Let me show you what I'm talking about. They're like perfectly there and they look like a tail light. But I think if they were pointing back, it'd be way too bright. Now let me turn these on. I'll show you what those look like. This is what the tail lights look like. This is parking lights. I got 3 of them there, but you can't really see them because they're all smoked. This is really cool because it's a third brake light, or it's a brake light. Now I'll show you the headlights, which are obsolete. There is 0 headlightage, but look at this. This is super nice. It looks very, very nice. Because we are going to leave here about 7 o'clock in the morning. I have to go do a kill switch install in Royce City. And then from there, we're driving all the way to Florida. The idea is get to Key Largo, unload, and enjoy like 3 or 4 days with my wife and my son for her birthday. But I need to make this thing safe, and I need to be able to drive it at night. Yeah, mi papá. My parents just got back from Mexico. Brought us beer that he's drinking. Thanks, Dad. Drinking all the beer that you brought me. Thanks to Jeffy B. You don't know más mirror dash camera. So we're gonna put this right here, sauce, and then there's gonna be a camera, maybe here, maybe down here, because obviously there's a hole for it, right? Ahorita vemos qué pedo. These are the headlights that I'm gonna try to use. I believe they go like this. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to invert them or if they go like this, if it's gonna be pointing up. Regardless, these are the headlights I have now. 0 headlightage. So if I could figure out how to put these here like that, kind of low key, little incognito action like this. Boom. Maybe another one in the middle. I want everything tucked away, not visible. Usually they go here, and I think that looks so dumb that you just have just 2 headlights there. So if we could do something here, it'll give that cool headlight, fog light effect. Got a little dark on me, and the whole goal here was I wanted to put headlights on this thing without changing the actual front view or the aesthetic look of it. And from right here, you can't see the headlights. And from here, you could see all 4 of them. If you guys could see, comment on where you guys can see them. So this is what it's gonna look like during the day and at night with no headlights on. These are just DRLs. They also do a switchback effect, which let me show you that. I actually haven't seen the switchback because I was driving it. So turn signal. And then you start seeing a switchback. That's pretty cool, actually. So I'm assuming whenever I turn on the ignition, it does ding, 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 and white. But check this out. If I do the high beam, bam, look at that. High beam off, high beam on. So this is pretty much gonna be my headlight switch. For the most part, I turn the ignition on. DRL is gonna be on for like safety, what have you. But look how much light that is. That's lights on, lights off. Huge difference. And we're gonna go try it down the street here in a little bit. So what I ended up having to do is put 2 in the middle, but I put them down low, and they kind of give a cool little look, right? You got the 2 DRLs and then 2 in the middle. And then I put 2 on the control arms, which I don't know if this is going to be a good idea. This is kind of a test run. Look at that there. Here, I'll turn it off, and I'll show you guys. Now, I'm kind of in a hurry, so I'm just kind of putting them on. But the bracket is on there good. Everything's nice and tight. I'll make it a whole lot better. Everything's zip tied up. So that's what the light pod looks on the control arm. Over here, Nice and low key. 2 of them there. And these are like a projector, so they pretty much shoot a flat line. But those look freaking good, and they are bright. So next, I'm gonna do the reverse camera out back so I could be able to see, and then I could take off that mirror. The cool thing about these reverse cameras, they give a huge like 180 view, so I'll be able to see all my blind spots. I'm gonna try to mount the camera here somewhere or down here. I'll have to see how it could look the best. If you guys are interested on how I did the wiring or the mounting, so this is pretty easy. Just a bracket, found some aluminum in my old van, bolted it there, ran the wires this way, zip tied everything up, and I connected to the factory harness, just soldered into it. These, since it's like pretty thick plastic on the top, I just kind of did like a self-tapper stainless steel screw. Kind of like one of these, but it was an Allen. So that's how those are mounted, and they're sturdy. They're on there really good. Same thing on this side. So I guess let's move on to the reverse camera. So to be honest, bro, I am improvising honestly on everything. So this is 2 pieces of aluminum that I used on like the headlights on the control arms. If you look on this side, you can see the back of the aluminum. I'm probably gonna cover that right now. Some crazy, we have this super awesome super duper tape. That's that white stuff right there. It's a super glue that's super awesome. 2 self tappers, sauce whoosh. This is that super glue. Damn it, look at whatcha install bay insta-cure. So some of that on there. Damn man. Check it out. Camera is right there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill a hole here, since it's gonna be hidden by this. And then I'm gonna run the wire through the tube all the way to the front. So now that the camera's plugged in, you can see the rear view. Pretty nice, not bad. I wanted to get a little bit more, but I got a different camera from what I have on the Razor and the Canon. But that'll do, because these are useless. At least this way I can see what's behind me. Bro, no way, I got it first try. So what I'm doing here is bringing the wire up from down here. I thought I made a big enough hole, but the problem is this is the head that goes on it. It's a freaking USB-C, and it was too big, and I didn't want to make the hole any bigger, but it's big enough to run wires later. But yeah, so pushed it up there, came out. So the next thing is going to be putting the wire in here and making it come out this way to this hole right here, so I can connect the rear camera. So I don't know if this is skill or luck, but as you guys can see, red and black wire here through the cage. I pushed it in. Usually you need like a fiber rod, or there's other tricks, but if you look right in there, red and black, there it is. Bam, sauce whoosh. So let me fish that out and then put this here, and then this is gonna cover that hole. Sauce. Reverse camera's almost done. Golly, look at this. I literally have the tip right there, but it's so hard to get it out. I gotta like push over here. I don't recommend doing this technique. Like if you guys could run a wire or like a fiber rod and tape it or something, it's way better. But yeah, this is kind of difficult. I'll get it out though. A lot of patience. Freak yeah, dude, look at that. Oh my goodness. So it was kind of difficult because of how like long this is, and then the hole, I try to make it as small as I can, because here's what sucks is if you drill this hole too small and then you run this through, you got to pull it back out and then make the hole bigger and then try to get it back through the hole. So you kind of have to judge your hole. But as you guys can see, since it's kind of going sideways, it's really tough because this doesn't bend because of the inside of here isn't as big as outside. But I got it. Nice. Oh, and this is pretty funny. Now that I got it out, guess what? It goes back in. Here we go, nice and slow. I don't know if this is gonna... Yeah, might not. So I think what I might do is kind of roll it up right here. And yeah, because this by itself will go in, but together, I don't think it will. All right, so this is what it looks like, guys. I see a little bit of wire here, but most of it's right here, and you can see kind of where it goes in. This Velcro's over nice and neat. Now what I'll show you on this side is you only see a little bit of wire there. I'll Velcro that a little bit better. And now here, I got to do like a little grommet. And then the wires go across behind that into the screen. And the screen came out pretty good. The way I mounted it and everything, hit the screws. Power wire goes down. I did cut this, so I'm gonna solder this back together, connect it, and hopefully it works. Ya valió verga! Oh no! Brother!